I was wondering when you'd show up, Miqo'te. I hope you haven't made any plans for the night, because we've got a situation on our hands. Remember our good friend the Phantom Thief? Well, it seems he's decided to branch out from burglary to cold-blooded murder. If the rumors are to be believed, he's claimed 3 victims already, all influential members of Ul'dah in society. Mr. Many Faces has been kind enough to leave one of his signature calling cards at every scene, leaving no doubt as to the identity of the murderer. The message is always the same: the weight of 5 corpses will bring the scales of justice to balance. More riddles. Not that you'll hear me complaining. No, the only thing my readers like more than a good mystery is a good murder mystery. Ever since the story broke, the Mythril Eye's been selling like Ponza cakes. The only rub is that it's left me no time to look into the thief's last message, until now, that is. Shall we, Miqo'te? The hidden treasure of Ul'dah, was it? If there's anyone who can shed some light on this, it's you-know-who. To Sunsilk Tapestries.
Well now, if it ain't my favorite venturer, and my favorite Mythril Eye reporter, long with ER. Tell me, what have I done to deserve the pleasure o' your company today? I see. As much as I'd like to help 2 lovely ladies, I'm 'fraid you've found ol' Wymond at a loss. Ul'dah has more than its fair share o' treasures, hidden and otherwise. I reckon our phantom friend could be after just about any of 'em. I can tell you this much, though. Whatever the thief's got his eyes on, it's got the Sultan sworn in a right dither. Word has it they've formed a regiment o' their best and brightest to safeguard the royal vaults from this very threat.
The Sultan sworn aren't like to be forthcoming with information, but it's the only lead we've got. Come on, Miqo'te, I'd say it's time we paid a visit to the heart of the sworn.
Oi, hold up there, Ellie. I ain't generally the worryin' type, but you may want to think twice before getting yourselves involved in this. A man in my business develops a nose for danger, and this time, the stench is something fierce. You're a reporter, Ellie, and a fine one at that. Don't put that pretty neck o' yours at risk trying to play hero.
Your concern is touching, but I can assure you that I am ready for whatever dangers lie ahead. Besides, being a reporter is about more than selling papers. I have a duty to seek out the truth and convey it to the people. Come, Miqo'te, time is of the essence. Where have I seen this man before?
Halt. Only authorized personnel are allowed in. Thou bugger me with a broadsword. It's the gentleman of Light's adventure and companion and that catty but cute reporter from the Mythril Eye.
Well, if it isn't the self-styled warrior of light. Tell me, what tall tales did you spin to the Sultan's sworn recruiter to land yourself in this position?
Only the 12's honest truth, miss. Seeing the gentleman of light standing tall and triumphant that day, it moved me, to the depths of me soul, like. I vowed to put aside my sketchy past and serve the realm just like my hero master Hildibrand. The Sultan sworn were impressed with my commitment and my sword arm, and they gladly welcomed me into their ranks. Wait, don't tell me, you've come to assist Master Hildibrand in his investigation, haven't you? Cor, why didn't you say so sooner? It's the least I could do to help the two ladies who united me with my role model. You'll be wanting to speak with Phil Lice. She's one of the sworn's best, and something of a history buff, it seemed. When she heard the thief was targeting the 4 relics of Belladia, she personally stepped forward and volunteered to lead the investigation. If anyone has the information you're looking for, it'd be her. Wait here while I get her. I can trust you not to touch anything.
A pleasure to meet you, Phyllis. My name is Ellie, from the Mythril Eye. As you may have heard, we're researching the Phantom Thief case, and would appreciate any information that may shed light on recent events.
The pleasure is mine, Miss Ellie. And if I'm not mistaken, that would make your companion friend here one Miqo'te Bane, yes?
You know Miqo'te?
As any regular reader of the Mythril Eye would. I must confess to being something of an unabashed fan of your work. Though it hardly befits my station to say this, I was secretly hoping that you would show up to assist in the investigation. Doubtless the inspector, too, will also welcome a helping hand.
The Sultan sworn, the elite of Ul'dah's elite. I can only hope they prove more competent than the bungling mercenaries I've dealt with thus far.
Inspector Briardian. Always one step ahead of us.
Miss Ellie. Miqo'te. A moment, if you would. Right there, very good. Now face me, and don't move an ILM.
Inspector? What is that in your...
Demas King Dust. A formula of my own devising that will allow us to see right through the thief's disguises. Analyzing the mask left behind at Vesper Bay, I was able to identify its composition and synthesize a counteragent that would dissolve the disguise whilst leaving the wearer's face intact. In any event, it would appear the two of you are indeed who you appear to be.
Brilliant, Inspector. The Phantom Thief has pulled the wool over our eyes for the last time.
I fear it won't be so simple. The ingredients necessary to produce the dust are exceedingly rare. Even with the entire resources of the Sultan sworn at our disposal, we were only able to produce a limited supply.
I see. Well, I suppose it's better than nothing. That said, have you been able to identify the thief's next target? A hidden treasure of Ul'dah, the last of the 4 lost relics of Belladia.
I fear not. I've pored through the histories time and again, but the only mention of these 4 relics is a vague reference in an old prophecy. Most serious scholars consider it little more than a fairy tale. When darkness falls, and hope fades to despair, 4 warriors born of light shall descend, in the righteous glare. The legend goes on to describe 4 sacred artifacts, one each possessed by these 4 Belladian heroes, but makes no mention as to their appearance or nature.
3 times we have tried to identify the thief's target, and 3 times has he foiled us by making off with something else entirely. Needless speculation will only play to the fiend's strengths.
All artifacts of Belladian origin have been sealed within the royal vault, and a regiment of our finest assigned to its protection. I have furnished all the guards with a supply of Demas King dust, and instructed them to be on the lookout for any suspicious personages.
The blackguard will be in chains before he can lay a dirty hand on the vault doors, let alone the treasures within. You have our word, my lady.
But there are even more disturbing matters at hand. Doubtless you have heard of the recent rash of murders perpetrated by our quarry. The Sultan Sworn have launched an investigation, but the truth of the matter is that we have been far too occupied with the defense of the vaults to make any meaningful progress. We would be most grateful for any assistance you could offer.
A lady asks, and a gentleman answers.
Cast all worry from your heart, my lady. Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, has arrived to set right what is wrong and bring the wicked to justice. And this must be the Demas King dust that is the talk of the palace. Ah, but you need not waste your supply on me, Inspector. I assure you that I am exactly who I claim to be.
A shame, that.
Inspector Hildibrand. We were not expecting you, but your services are most welcome. I will share all I know about the recent murders. The killer has claimed 3 victims thus far, the head of a publishing consortium, a high-ranking government official, and an influential scholar. Other than that, they were all influential figures in their respective circles. We can identify no common threads connecting the 3.
Oh ho. This will prove a most satisfying case to crack indeed. And what of the method of killing? Conked over the head with a cudgel? Gutted with a great sword? Strangled with a subligar, mayhap?
I'm afraid that we've identified no pattern. In any event, the murderer plots the deaths of 2 more even as we speak. We must take action, and quickly.
Understood, my lady. Clues may be scarce, but worry not, my realm-renowned powers of deduction are more than up to the task. I will see this burglar turned butcher delivered to justice.
Your presence is heartening indeed, Inspector Hildibrand. Friends, please take this Demas King dust with you. I fear we can spare but a single sachet, but I trust you will put it to good use.
He may have 1,000 faces, but with Inspector Briardian's demasking dust, the masquerade will soon be over.
The gentleman of light, in the flesh. Hells, he's every bit as muscular and majestic as I remembered.
On behalf of the Sultan Sworn, your assistance with the murder investigation is greatly appreciated. Leave the defense of the royal vault to us.
Come to accompany me on yet another case, friend. I like your gusto. But if you're auditioning to be my assistant, I fear that role has already been filled most ably. Still, a gentleman welcomes the support of all of his admirers. I shall henceforth name you thusly, Miqo'te, my ever-loyal associate. And now, my ever-loyal associate, the investigation calls. I propose that we begin by inspecting the site at which the most recent victim met his demise. My questioning about the palace has revealed that the scholar's body was found not far from the 80 sins of Sasimo. Even the most circumspect of criminals cannot help but leave behind clues that will not elude my gaze. Friends, let us be off. Pray alert me should you see anyone suspicious, my ever-loyal associate. We must put Mythril Eye's Demas King dust to good use.
flowers. How intriguing.
Flowers? Yes, it is all becoming clear now. Our phantom killer is a florist, who, in his hurry to escape, carelessly mislaid his wares.
Just what do ya think you're doing? Eh? Eh?
I'm the one what put those flowers there, eh? To honor the memory o' me poor boy. Ye dare defile his memory, eh? Eh?
1,000 pardons, my lady. Please accept my most sincere condolences on your loss. I am Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire. I swear to you, on my own dear mother's name, that your son's killer will be brought to justice. Ahem. As I was just saying, these flowers were clearly placed here by the family of the deceased, which can only mean.
Leave this place. Run away, while you still can. Run far, far away. Run, or he'll turn you into a zombie. Just like my poor boy.
A living person turned into a zombie? Nonsense.
Not nonsense, my boy, history. Or have you not heard of the horrors of Sil'dih? Ul'dah's sibling nation, against which we waged war centuries ago. Much blood was shed by both sides, but I speak of far greater horrors than death. An unholy draught brewed by a Sil'dih alchemist, one with the power to turn the living to the undead, that his nation might command an army of mindless, deathless soldiers. The traders spurn. They turned my poor boy into a heap of rotten flesh and ran him through. But ye won't hear that from the Sultan's sworn. Thou alone knows why, but they whisked the body away before I could so much as pay me last respects.
The traders spurn. I'd heard the stories, but I never thought them true. To be able to procure such a frightening thing, just who are we dealing with here?
A Sil'dih, I'm sure of it. Only a Sil'dih would know the recipe. But the last remnants of Sil'dih died 4 centuries ago, you say? He. Oh, they did. He. He calls himself the Phantom Thief, he does, but did it ever occur to ye that he might be an honest-to-God's phantom? Heard the tales from my own great-great-grandma, I did. About the 4 relics of Ul'dah, and the powers they hold. The power to exact justice. A spectre of Sil'dih has returned to wreak vengeance on us. Woe unto us all. Have the 4 warriors of light forsaken us? My dear boy. If only you'd become a trader like your father. If only you'd kept your nose out o' those history books, and never so much breathed the accursed name o' Sil'dih. But you did, and now we're doomed. 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 He.
That bleeding horsen's here somewhere. I can feel it in me follicles.
The most potent hair tonic the realm has seen. That it was, for all of a fortnight, afore my flowing locks fell out all over again. And just as I was chatting up a lovely young lass at the quicksand, just to twist the knife an extra ILM. Mountebank. Charlatan. I'll find that called inspector and his sorry band, and pull every last strand o' hair from their bleedin' skulls.